Sometimes you go to a website and the website looks funny, it looks fishy, but you can't really tell whether or not it's fake. So, in today's conversation, I want to share with you a few tips, a few hacks to really figure out right off the bat if a website is fake or not. Okay. So, here are the facts I want you to think about. When I think about, when I'm telling you about fake websites or have you, what I'm really getting at is the fact that you have identity theft protection going crazy nowadays. Okay, I mean, you have a lot of scammers, a lot of swindlers, a lot of folks are out there to sort of steal your identity. Okay, so what are the red flags on a fake website? The thing is that while scammers can use fake emails, text messages, and phone calls to target their victims, almost every phishing scam shares one common element: a fake website. Yeah, so you have a website, you look at it, it looks nice, but underneath it, it's really crazy. It's really bad. Okay, and what happens here is that scammers actually set up fake sites to mimic familiar login pages, online shopping sites, and information on, or even payment request forms. Right? They'll do it. They'll do anything just to sort of try to really like misconstruct the truth. Or see, the whole thing is that they can even have fake landing pages. Okay, and the thing is that links to these pages are included in scam messages or even posted online to trap unsuspecting browsers. And the thing is that when you think about it, you have the whole thing about phishing, about identity theft. This crime is actually exploding like crazy. Okay, and so fake sites can steal your info and your money, for that matter, or infect your device with malware. Sometimes they can even have a ransomware. If you work for a company or you are like quote unquote an important person, they can actually infect your device with ransomware. So to stay safe, you really need to know what these sites look like and how you can avoid them. Okay. So the thing is that when you think about fake websites, it's important to understand that it's all about measuring the risk, because there are risks of visiting fake websites. Fake websites are pages designed to intentionally mislead visitors, right? So this include scam websites with, let's say, fake goods and services. You have lookalike phishing websites and malicious websites containing malware and viruses. Okay, and linked to these scam sites are actually found in pop-ups and social media ads, as well as in phishing emails and text messages. And then the funny thing is they may even appear in search engine results for common search terms. So there are a couple of risks when you actually visit a fake website. You could actually pay for non-existing goods from a fake e-commerce store. You could actually give up sensitive information that can be used for identity theft. Scammers could actually trick you into providing your login credentials and passwords, and you could also unknowingly download malware, ransomware, or other viruses. Let me talk to you about the checks and balances here. So when you think about actually figuring out if a website is fake, the first thing you want to do is you want to check the URL closely for spelling mistakes. Very important. It's because many fake websites appear to have legitimate URLs, but actually contain slight variations or even sometimes spelling errors. And this may include small misspellings or characters that look similar to others in order to spoof real URLs, such as replacing the letter O with the number zero. Okay, letter O, number zero, or maybe the letter I with the number one. Okay, so for example, basically, fraudsters targeted PayPal customers with the URL PayPal.com with the uppercase. I'm looking like I looking nearly identical to a lowercase L on some Windows computers. So this happens all the time. Okay, it's all about, like, the scammers are trying to really play on your let's say propensity for distraction, because they know you're not really focused. You're not really focused when you browse the net. So they will want to take advantage of that. The second thing you want to do is don't be fooled by legitimate looking subdomains. If you want to actually find out if a website is fake, do not be fooled by legitimate looking subdomains. Every website has a primary domain name, such as Amazon.com, and a subdomain is actually an extension to the primary domain, such as advertising.amazon.com. So regardless of the extension, the primary domain always stays the same. And the thing is, some fake websites trick victims by actually changing the order of the domains, such as Microsoft.fakewebsite.com. And so in this example, Microsoft is actually the subdomain, not the official domain. Others actually use official looking domain names that are altogether different from the official organization, but most people just don't know enough to actually question the validity, the authenticity. Okay, so that's really something to think about. Now, always double check the URL. So before clicking on submitting anything on a website, perform a quick Google search to reveal the company's proper URL and domain name to make sure you are going to the right place. The third thing you want to do is you want to inspect the site's security certificate. Very important. Let me break it down for you. So most reputable modern day websites have secure second layer SSL or transport layer security TLS certificates, which really establishes a secure and encrypted connection between your device and the server. So while not really mandatory for all websites, online stores and retailers should always have SSL certificates to protect personal and financial data. So you can check actually a site's SSL certificate by clicking on the icon next to the URL and then security. If you are trying to really reveal if a website is fake, you want to consider how you found the website in the first place. So when in doubt, think about how you initially arrived at the site in question. So if you tap in the URL yourself, are you sure you entered the correct website address? If you clicked on a link, was it from a reputable site or sender? You always want to have this in the back of your mind, right? Analyze the sender's email address, signature, and contact details to actually ensure that they're not somebody else. They are really who they say they are. So that's kind of cool. For example, if the email is supposed to be from Amazon, but it comes from a Gmail address, it's a scam for sure. Next, you want to use safe browsing tools or a website checker. Most web browsers come with the built-in safe browsing features that actually warn you when you are visiting risky sites or downloading something suspicious. And I'm speaking here about Chrome's Safari and Firefox. And you can also check a website URL before visiting by entering it into a Google Safe Browsing site status checker. That's really cool because they really instill an extra layer of clarity. Okay, and so next you want to look for spelling, grammar, and formatting issues. Very important. Scammers are so busy chasing money, they forget about those sort of basic stuff, right? Spelling, typos, all that kind of stuff. So scammers do not tend to invest the same time and money in creating and editing website content as legitimate site owners do, and this could lead to typos, formatting mistakes, and awkward phrasing. You know, like you see a phrasing, it looks so awkward. It really sounds so crazily awkward. Okay, the rise of AI content has made it easier for scammers to whip up passable content for sites. So you also need to be on the lookout for anything that doesn't seem authentically human. Very important. So one thing you can do is you can use an AI checker. So while some legitimate companies use AI to create content, few rely on it completely. Though not perfect, AI detectors can help you figure out if website copy was written by a human or AI. To actually find out if a website is fake or not, what you want to do is that you want to be wary of poor quality design or photos. So compared to legitimate websites, scam websites usually look noticeably worse. I mean, it's one of those things when you look at it, you know something is wrong here. And those websites tend to feature messy design elements and pixelated images and photos. And in addition to their low quality, these sites often use simple website templates with functionality and navigation issues. So what you want to do is you want to pay attention to broken links because scammers often race through the design process and ignore many of the links on their website templates. So if you encounter broken links on sections of a site that don't work, you should think twice about sharing information on that site. Also, you want to check the domain age of and ownership. So scam websites don't typically stay up long, which really helps them have a domain age that's really sort of like recent. And so the domain age is really informative in that sense. So if you are, let's say, if you are dealing with a reputable brand that's been around for years, but its website is only a few months old, you are likely visiting a fake website. You can actually find detailed domain information on sites like Who is Lookup, which really tells you when the domain was created, who registered it, and more. So you also want to research the website owner. So once you know who created the website, you can investigate further. So a Google search might reveal other scam websites they created or a suspicious activity for which they have been responsible. Also, you want to search for user reviews and potential scams. So while online reviews may not always be the most reliable, you never know, especially with the heavily curated on-site reviews, you can still learn a lot from the experiences of others, right? It's all about making sure that you hear other feedback. So basically, you can check the Triple B's scam tracker websites to see if anyone else has reported the site in question. So if you question a site's legitimacy, what you want to do is you want to try searching for it on sites like Trustpilot, Better Business Bureau, Triple B, and Reddit to see if there are negative reviews or even scam warnings available. And so when you actually search for user reviews and potential scams, I just want you to be very careful too, because you want to look out for fake reviews, because scammers employ bots to submit fake reviews about their companies and websites in order to give visitors a false sense of security, right? This happens all the time. Everybody is trying to play the game. So you might be able to detect fake reviews by looking for multiple posts that sound the same, and fake reviews also tend to come from new users on the platform while lacking or going overboard on the details. So this is important to really think about it. To find out if a website is fake, you want to check the About, Shipping, and Privacy Policy pages. So some scam websites often ignore the finer details that go into a website, right? Like you have the About page or the legal information included in the terms and conditions and privacy policy descriptions. The thing is, if you have a legit website, of course they will spend time on those things because it's important for them. Those things will help them solidify the legitimacy of their sites. But scammers, they have no time for this. So try to read through the shipping information and return policy to ensure that everything stacks up. So if any of these pages are missing, or let's say even lacking important details, avoid dealing with this website. You also want to verify the contact information, double check the company's contact details, such as its phone number and physical address. You want to verify that this data actually is kind of legit. You want to do so with a Google or Map search, or even give the phone number a quick call to make sure it is legit. Also, you want to research the company's social media and online presence, because most companies nowadays have an online presence that goes beyond their website. So the company should actually be mentioned in other places online or provide publicly available information such as public, let's say press releases or other types of public recognition. And companies usually have some sort of social media presence as well, including multiple social media accounts exhibiting relatively up-to-date activity. And so those are things that they're telling you are dealing with a legit company. Okay, so try the social media links on the website. So legitimate companies have working links to their social media accounts or on their websites, usually found in the footer. So click on those links to see if they work correctly and lead to where they should, right? And you want to look for payment flags also, payment red flags rather. So there is not one single payment red flag that every fake website shares. So you need to be on the lookout for as many warning signs as you can. So some of the most common hints you might see include unusual payment proofs, such as gift cards or cryptocurrency, or too good to be true deals such as rock bottom flight prices on spoofed airline websites. So one thing for sure, do not settle for second best identity and fraud protection. So you want to really make sure that if you are going to protect yourself online, go use a right provider to sort of help you out. Now, let me give you a few smart moves here. We're also having a conversation about how to really find out if find out if a website is fake. There are some smart moves that you need to really pay attention to. If you visited a fake website, there are a few things you can do to actually mitigate the situation real fast. Okay, You want to review your online accounts for suspicious activity. Check your bank accounts for signs of fraud, for instance. I mean, look through your bank account activity and statements for, let's say, things like unauthorized payments. You want to review your contact information and ensure that nothing was changed. You always want to update your passwords and also enable 2FA. 2FA stands for two-factor authentication. Okay, very important, especially in the long run. You want to freeze your credit with all three major bureaus. So once you request a credit freeze, your credit will be inaccessible to anyone, including yourself. So you need to actually request a freeze with each of the three bureaus individually: Equifax, TransUnion, and Experian. And when you want your credit file open again, you will need to manually lift the freeze. You also want to contact your bank and credit card company. Also, when you get a chance to reach out to any other relevant organizations that you are constantly dealing with, that will actually help you reestablish the connection. Also, scan your device for malware. I mean, this could be your phone, it can be your laptop, it can be your desktop, it can be your tablets, or what have you, okay? Run an antivirus program on your device to identify and quarantine any malware you might have picked up on the website. And so if you find and remove malware, restart your device and run the antivirus again to see if the problem remains or returns. Also, you want to try to submit a complaint to the FTC. So depending on your circumstances, you either want to submit a fraud complaint at reportfraudftc.gov or an identity theft complaint at identitytheft.gov. And the FTC can also help you plan your next steps. You want to file also a report with the authorities. You can file, let's say, a police report at your local law enforcement office as well, because a police report may be required by your bank for some fraud claims. And you can also report the scam website. So you can report scam websites in several ways, including reporting them to Google, which has a reporting page for phishing sites and malicious software. You can also report page issues with most browsers through their help menus. So that's kind of cool. So the bottom line is, when it comes to actually identifying and figuring out how to really deal with fake websites, it's important to really start first by adopting a posture of safety, online safety, that is, okay? It's very unlikely that you can avoid fake websites entirely. What you can avoid, however, is actually making a mistake on one of those websites, such as clicking on a link, giving up private information, or even worse, sending money to somebody else. So if you want to really avoid, avoid fake websites and stay safe online, you want to visit important websites directly or save them in your bookmarks. Okay, don't click on a link. You want to actually tap in the URL of the website yourself. Okay, and so for sites such as your online bank or other sensitive websites, enter the URL directly or keep them saved in your bookmarks to ensure that you don't need to actually follow a fake link, or you don't end up on a spoofed version of the site. Better yet, use the company's official mobile app. You also want to use a password manager to store and enter your credentials. Protect your accounts with 2FA whenever possible. 2FA is really, really powerful. It can be 2FA or MFA, multiple factor authentication. Check suspicious websites with safe browsing tools. Okay, this is kind of important. So use a web browser or a third-party service with safe browsing tools to block or warn against suspicious websites. And when in doubt, run the URL through a website checker. And don't use non-traditional payment options. So when shopping online, stick to the primary payment options. Scam sites often use non-traditional payment methods because they are harder to track and reverse. And if your budget so allows, you can also try to sign up for identity and credit protection. So identity and credit protection providers monitor your information and credit file and notify you immediately. And that's what you want, immediately. If something suspicious is detected, right? So if your data leaks on the dark web or someone opens an account in your name, you will receive right away an alert. And so with scammers using fake websites in most of the latest phishing and phishing scams, Your best defense really is simply knowing how to spot and avoid them. And this is something you have to really think about proactively. So here's an epilogue to today's conversation. I spoke to you about how to spot fake websites. I gave you the facts, the risks, the checks and balances, the smart moves, and the epilogue. Thank you so much. God bless you. I'll see you next time. Until then, remember, stay marvelous.